Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we are finally recapping my harrowing experience and tale of attending SerlingFest 2024.
Woo! Wait, no,
Yeah.
I got it wrong. I meant to say, booyah!
Yeah. Yes, that is the appropriate response to that.
Which is a callback to, I think, the Michigan Red Hot episode, if I'm not mistaken.
You're probably right. I'll go with you on that one. Well,
sure.
Listen, you know what? Some of our Spiedie freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's need to go with is subscribing, rating, and reviewing our show, and sharing this episode with a friend. Put a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts, or put a 4, and then we can fight about why we didn't get that extra star. Up to you.
Sure.
And let us know your favorite upstate location or person or TV god in the review.
Okay.
Now, here's the deal, folks. We have hit episode 50. 50.
Woo!
That is a fucking landmark, man. That's
and we've still got so much to cover.
There's a lot.
So many things.
And there's a lot just across, like, upstate New York that, like, we haven't even scratched the surface. Like,
yep.
Even as far as just, like, some really great people up there doing some cool shit, artists, business owners, all things upstate New York related, we can get into. And just know that we're going to still keep rocking and rolling here, party people.
Jim, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Of the soon-to-be 50 episodes, I mean, we haven't done the 50th yet, but we're about to. So of the previous 49, do you have a favorite?
Oh, my gosh. Well, they're all like my children. How can you pick between all of these absolute gems? It'd be hard to say. I have a couple favorites, like,
okay.
Certainly Griselda Records. That was a solid one. Clearly, our talk about Rod Serling was pretty great.
Episode 2.
Yep.
Episode number 2.
Our second episode. What else sticks out for me? I did, obviously, like, because these all bring back the old 607, the Masonic Temple. It's pretty great. Our coverage of the Appalachian Mob meeting was pretty great. I feel like those are ones that stand out for me. What about you?
I think another early one, the Spiedie episode. We had our first guest, Paul Lucas, on that.
Sure.
To give some historical Spiedie reporting, and that one, the Wegmans episode. I think that's one of the first ones where I went off the deep end on reading old newspaper articles, and that's really stuck with me since. So that was a very formative episode, I think, for my overall approach to the podcast. But those two, I think, those definitely stick out for me. I'm trying to think. But
you know what?
I love them all.
There's another one that just hit me. Our coverage of the documentary of the March of the Patriots.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking great. Definitely brought back a lot of memories to me. So I feel like we have there are some really dope ones that stand out. I do have a upstate update.
Oh, okay.
As of sorts, because if you remember, I last
wait.
Oh yeah, Give it to us.
I did that one double time just so we can get to it.
Time is money, baby. The studio time is expensive. So, we want to make sure we get everything in there. Well, look, in the middle of September, September 21st, I performed at the first Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival.
That's right. You didn't just perform, you headlined one of the shows.
I did. And I want to say that was a very, very dope experience. It was a great time. Stephen Brown, who, by the way, we should have him as a guest on the podcast.
You just said his name, and I was like, why have we not had this guy on the show?
We should be interviewing him and talking to him about his experience with comedy in upstate New York. I think that'd be a really dope interview. I'm gonna text him after we do this and see if he wants in on that. But yeah, look, he's put together this comedy festival. It was such a great time. I headlined the Saturday show. Unfortunately, I couldn't get out to hang out for the Friday and the brunch show, but when you're in Binghamton, you'll do Binghamton shit. So there you go. But all in all, it was a really great time. The crowd was awesome. I got a t-shirt, got a Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival t-shirt.
Hell yeah. There was merch.
There was some merch on deck. I met some great comics from upstate, Buffalo, Syracuse area.
Nice.
There's some talented people up there. Really, really pushing some upstate comedy stuff. So I was very honored to be asked to be part of that, and not to pat this old back here. But, when they were putting this together, Steve and Josh, and shout out to Crooked Mouth Brewery and all those guys over there. They said I was the first person they thought of to headline. So
hell yeah!
That means a lot. I really appreciated that. And yeah, there was a couple of the searchaholics showed up for all intent and purpose. And there was a searchaholic who showed up who's from Appalachian.
Wow.
And she brought a friend of hers who was very drunk, and she disappeared. She disappeared
in Binghamton?
Yeah, in the surrounding area. Yeah, I'm here to report that. She was very drunk, and I remember right before I went up, she saw me, and she was like, "Do you remember me?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "No, you don't." And I was like, so we're not
There's no winning.
Well, I was like, so we're not going to do this while there are people on stage. Like, I'm not going to get into this with you about whether I remember you or not. For the record, I did not. I don't know who the fuck she was. But Searchaholic was out there from Appalachian, and we talked about what history lies in the surrounding area, and I brought up our podcast, and I brought up our coverage of the Appalachian mob meeting. So,
hell yeah!
I have to say, very great time, and again, shout out to Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival. Shout out to Crooked Mouth Brewery. Thanks to everybody for having me. Hopefully, I'll get to be up there next year. And they really put on a great show. So 5 stars, no notes. And if you live up if you live up in that area, please go check it out next year. You'll not be disappointed for sure.
Nice. Well, you weren't only up there for the Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival. You were there for 2 weekends in a row.
I was.
For another festival of sorts.
I was.
Should we go to our coverage of the SerlingFest 2024 edition?
Oh my gosh. Yes, we shall, and yes, we will.
All right.
So, I feel like it's important with any sort of trip up to Binghamton to just understand that unless you have the means and you drive yourself up there, then God bless you. But if you don't, then you are taking the short line bus from Port Authority to Binghamton, New York. And that is always a hodgepodge of excitement because you're riding with a cross section of humanity that is always a trip. So our trip starts off there. I get on the bus. Bus ride is great because I go up on a Friday, and I go up on a Friday at 10 a.m. No one's on the bus.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than that.
Perfect.
Yup. Great fucking ride. So I get into town, and as soon as I pull in, I am greeted by none other than a mural dedicated to Charlie Ahern right on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Who we talked about, I can't remember when, but we talked a lot about meeting him.
Yes,
at the top of one of our episodes. At that point, it was not coined an Upstate Update.
No, we evolved.
It very
into
much
that.
was an Upstate Update. Jim, for anyone that has made the grave error in not listening to that episode, whichever one it was, can you tell everyone who doesn't know who Charlie Ahern?
Oh my gosh, he is the man who created the film Wild Style. So,
which is I can't remember if it's like the first hip hop movie, right?
Yeah, we'll shoot from the hip here and say that it's the first hip hop movie, and incorporating all the elements. And he is a Binghamtonian. And there he was staring me in the face. I did like a photo dump of the non-Rod edition, right, of SerlingFest. So I'm just like looking at all of those pictures. You're like, oh yeah, this happened. Oh yeah, this happened. Went over to Little Venice, had a nice little midday lunch dinner, as I'm wont to do. Highly recommend you do that. Then checked in the hotel over at the Holiday Inn. Majestic view of downtown Binghamton and the surrounding area. Took a little stroll around town, saw some people tubing in the Shenango River. Do not recommend that. Yeah. It was different. It was very different.
Yeah. What is it? Is the river moving fast enough to make that plausible?
I mean, they made it work. It work. I just my initial, again, as a Binghamtonian through and through, I'm like, I would not be swimming in that river. It's not as dirty as like the Hudson or the East River. However, that's just not the wave. I would not be.
We've covered too much about pollution upstate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other places to do it, man. Other places to get into that. So anyway, check in the hotel. Life is grand. And then at 6:00, this is Friday night. 6:00 is the first night in the beginning of SerlingFest, right? Which I should point out that this he would have turned 100 this year.
Which, for reference, Jimmy Carter just turned 100. I didn't realize Rod Serling and Jimmy Carter were the same generation. Weird to think about.
Yeah, that is kind of wild. That's a thing. And yeah, he would have turned 100 this year. And so that was what made this one pretty monumental. I walked up to SerlingFest and saw, like, it was at the Broome County Forum Theater, or the Forum, as you might just say, if you're a Binghamtonian. And for the record, I have never been in the Forum. I've never been in there. Okay, like
I watched some of the videos of some of the events. It looks nice.
It's
great.
It's very much like, it reminds me of like a smaller King's Theater, as far as just like one of those really old theaters.
Yeah.
Same sort of setup and everything.
Where in Binghamton is it?
It is in downtown Binghamton. So it's actually near the the Hull Grummond building.
Okay.
It's right down the street from there, which also was I'll get into that in a minute.
All right.
So, yeah, it's right in downtown Binghamton, and it's beautiful. It's really nice venue. So I walk up, I see SerlingFest 2024 on the marquee. This is so fucking cool. Walk in, there's a cardboard cutout of Rod Serling, and
not quite. It seemed like not quite life size.
Well, he was 5'4".
What?
So, yeah.
Did we? I don't think we talked about that when we covered.
He is 5'4". So this might have been.
I take it back.
Yeah. That might be one to walk back, man. I didn't know that either, by the way.
Wow.
Somebody took my picture with it, and the guy who did was just like, yeah, that's kind of life size. Like, he was a really short dude. So, it was a dope. That was pretty cool to get to see that. Little cardboard cutout. There's a wall in the forum that has like everybody from Binghamton who's in the arts community or contributed to the arts community. Rod Serling clearly was up there. And there was a little he got his star in the Hall of Fame, the Binghamton Hall of Fame. And then in the lobby they had like just a collection of like all of his work, right? Or just like stills and like pictures and stuff of like his life and his achievements and that sort of thing, which was really great to check out. And just some of like his great quotes, man. Like, what a Democrat or Republican couldn't say, a Martian could say. Which was like his driving force behind the statements that he was making through his work, because that's why he got into sci-fi, which I'll get into when we get into his video stuff. So the first night was just it showed his work, right? We went through like kind of like a chronological timeline of where he started and then where his career, it wasn't like totally linear, but like it highlighted some of his major works, right? So like, for example,
what's the attendance like night one?
Sure. Great question. I'd say probably 50%.
Okay.
Definitely was not
50% of the theater
of the theater. Yes.
Not bad.
So, found out later, people from over 24 states have come out for this.
Wow.
So from half of the country, almost half the country, showed up, and the optics and the demographic is exactly what you'd think it would be for Rod SerlingFest.
I watched some videos.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. It's gonna track. It's gonna be what you think it is, folks.
Yeah, a lot of white dudes.
Yep, a lot of white dudes. Couple white women sprinkled throughout.
50 up.
Yep, I would hazard to say I was probably the youngest person there, and I'm 43.
Okay. Yeah.
So, not well. There were also like kids working there, right. As attendees, like definitely, there was
people paying to be there.
Right. Yes. Not getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
I did see a couple black folks in there, which was pretty great. So that was pretty cool to see that. But yeah, primarily white. Like, we're in Binghamton. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Sure.
So, we start SerlingFest, right? So we get into, again, the television shows that he had worked on. First episode we watched was called Grady Everett for the People, which was on a show called Stars Over Hollywood. This was the first script that he had ever produced for national television. It's the first thing that he ever had put on TV. So it's very, very much far away from the Twilight Zone, right? And, this aired in like 1950. Okay. And the premise of the episode was just like a scumbag politician who gets his comeuppance. He's very self-serving, and like his son goes away to college, comes back, and his son was like, Dad, people called you a liar when I was at school, and I tried to...
Jim, why are we talking about Eric Adams' indictment right now? I don't... supposed to be talking about Rod Serling.
Well, here's the thing, Rob. There's been a lot of talk of his work being timeless and applicable to pretty much any time you want to pick. And yeah, I feel like that would be that. Sure. So, his son goes away to school, and he's like, Dad, the people are talking shit about you at school, so I tried to fight them. And, he's just like, oh, son, it's politics. People talk shit about each other. And then eventually, like, this is where things really turn, is Grady greenlit a hospital being built by like a shoddy construction company, and probably got a kickback of some sort to get it built. And the hospital collapses, and some children die in the hospital. Whoa. And his cabinet is just like, yo, like, you fucking greenlit this? Like, you are awful. You're awful for that. Woo. And so the show ends with him losing the election. There's a upcoming election. He loses the election.
Like and where this is going.
Yep. And then he gets shot. Also.
Whoa!
Yeah, somebody shoots him. And there's a poster on the wall that says Grady Everett for the people, right? And Grady, after he gets shot, he like reaches for the wall and he pulls down part of the poster, and then it reads Grady Everett for Grady Everett.
Whoa, cool. Wow, what a Twilight Zone ending.
Yep. That's
great.
He put a great button on the end of that, which was great, right?
Hell yeah! Again, the parallels with the current indictment being around Eric Adams greenlighting a Turkish building that was shoddily built and not up to code. Pretty weird.
Yeah, kind of strange that
weird.
all of this would track, right? So
it's kind of like we're in the Twilight Zone. All right, back to you, Jim.
Yeah. Oh, come on, you old such and such. So that was our first episode of that we watched, and then we jumped a little bit ahead. Rod was writing for the show called The Loner, and it was this like. What do I want to say? Like very like Western driven. They were like, and what they wanted from that show was more like, like cowboys shooting Native Americans, like that, right? Like that was the vibe they were on. Well, because Rod being Rod, it was like, nah, I want to talk about PTSD and racism. So I'm going to do that. And he did it. Wow. There's an episode called One of the Wounded. Great title. And again, this is a quick synopsis of said episode, but there is a gentleman who served in the Civil War, I believe, comes home and is silent, like his catatonic, does not talk, cannot function, can't live without the assistance of his wife. She is pretty much taking care of him. And then the loner, which is this is the main character who also served in the Civil War and now he's a cowboy. He shows up to visit this soldier, and we see and figure out that the war has fucked him up. Like he cannot operate. And then after that, there's like a gunfight outside their house, and the loner is like shooting it out with whoever he's shooting it out with. And that's when the soldier wakes up and like starts to like respond to like gunfire. So like the takeaway message being like, this guy can now only function in war, right? Can't live.
Heavy.
Yeah, some real heavy shit. And again, all this is applicable to today. Like, there are people who have served, who cannot function in society, in the normal constraints of society, can only really live in war, and are fucked up for it, right? And so, like, eventually, you know, we get, like, a great ending for it, because, like, he, like, slowly starts to reacclimate to society, live his wife, and things are great, right? So that was the second episode we watched. Then the third one was the homecoming of Lemuel Stove. And this is where things get wild.
Is this the same show?
Yes, it's the same show, The Loner. And this one, heavily dealing with race. The Loner is in a gunfight with some Native Americans, and this black dude shows up, jumps on the side of the Loner. They shoot it out, and then he's like, "Oh, you know, why'd you help me?" He's like, "Oh, I saw a fellow Union soldier in distress," and then they become friends, right? Mm-hmm. And Lemuel is going back home to his hometown, finds that his dad has been hung by what we now find out to be the Klan. They hang him, and he's obviously distraught and fucked up. We find out that they want to leave his body there. They just want to leave his body hanging on the tree, right? Mm-hmm. And Lemuel's like, "No, I want to cut it down and bury my dad." And they're like, "Nah, you can't do that." And so the Loner and Lemuel are like, "Fuck that, we're doing it." They do it. The Klan comes back, and they tell the Loner, like, "Get out of here. Like, we're going to deal with this guy on our own." And the Loner's like, "The fuck you are." And then they shoot it out with the Klan. Most of the Klan ends up getting shot. Lemuel gets shot, and then he dies. It's some really heavy shit.
Wow.
So, again, pretty applicable to today. Klan still running around here. So that is also very applicable to date. Now, we then move into the next show called Night Gallery, which was Rod Serling. So Rod made the Night Gallery show in like the late 70s. And this was after the Twilight Zone. And I'm not sure if we talked about this during our breakdown of Rod in episode 2, because that was almost a year ago.
I don't think we did. Night Gallery?
Night Gallery,
I don't think we did.
It was in color, right? And they actually brought in some guys. There's like these two guys that are like the aficionados of Night Gallery. Like they know
the Night Gallery guys.
Yeah, they know everything.
The Night Gallerists, if you
or literally the Night Gallery, because they could be a gallery, could be a group of people.
All right.
I'm just saying. So we watched 2 episodes from that. From the Night Gallery. And again, this was after the Twilight Zone. This was, I think, Rod's last work in television. And then, I think he wrote, was it Planet of the Apes? So
I wrote the first script, and then other people took it over. I don't think he got credit on it. I can't remember.
Well, he's getting his credit today. We're gonna do that for him today. So, the Caterpillar, was is a wild episode where like this dude, he ends up like, and this is what's so kind of trippy about these ones is like, this is again like post Twilight Zone, so there's still just like the kind of supernaturally business here. So this guy ends up staying at like, not quite sure the relationship he has with the people he's staying with, but it's somewhere in like the jungle. And like this really nice villa. It's raining all the time, and he like can't leave the house because there's this couple there with him. Well, he starts to fall for the wife of the guys there, and basically has it in his head that he's just like, well, if I just kill her husband, then like she'll get with me, right? So,
Jim, I'm never having house guests ever again.
That's it. End of discussion. Not happening. So, he's like, well, yeah, I got to figure out how to kill this guy. Meets this other dude who's just like, well, if you put like an ear pill, like, which is the name of a bug, in this guy's ear, the bug will just eat his brain and then he'll die. And the guy's like,
Jim, I'm never letting a bug inside my house again.
No bugs, no gifts, or no
no guests.
No guests. Not happening. So there, so then the guy gets a hold of the bug, right? But what ends up happening is the bug gets in the guy's ear, and he like goes through the motions, goes through the pain, and then like it becomes revealed that he was trying to kill the guy, right? The husband. Well, then the wife is like, so did you think I was just going to like get with you after my husband died? Probably not. And now I also know that you're a murderer and you were trying to kill my husband.
Yeah.
And then he ends up like, well, he's healed, like the bug dies, right? They end up killing the bug in his head. And then he's like, so
is this about RFK Jr. now? Jim, so current with all these stories.
Ahead of his time. So ahead of his time. Right? So then the guy's like, so I'm good. Like, I'm okay. Right? And then there's like a doctor there, and the doctor goes, well, I hate to tell you, but those bugs lay eggs.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
So you're eventually gonna die. And scene. So that was the first of the 2 episodes from Rod Serling's Night Gallery. And then we get into...
Are we getting intermissions or anything? Snack breaks? Or are we just...
I feel like there might have been one... There might have been one after Lemuel Stove. So there might have been a little bit of a break. Stepped outside onto the eerily quiet streets of downtown Binghamton, New York. I mean, on a quiet night, there is just you and your thoughts and Rod Serling's spirit out there, right? So after the caterpillar comes, they're tearing down Tim Riley's bar. Great episode. Love this one.
I like the title.
So this one I can really condense a little bit more succinctly, but it's about a guy who, worked in an advertising company, and like life was good when he started, and Tim Riley's bar is where like everybody would go after work, and that was his spot, that was his hang. Sure. Well, he finds out that they're gonna tear it down, and of course he just fucking can't take it. He breaks. starts to kind of his job, his life slowly starts to fall apart, and he starts having these like flashbacks of when things were good. And so the main character looks in the window of Tim Riley's bar, and it's like a construction site, but he looks in there and he sees the bar, like the bar that he remembers. And it's like fully functioning, and like, you know, he's like, he sees like himself in there, and his like wife is there, and there's like, oh, you had a great day at work, Tim, and blah, 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 blah. So then like, he starts to kind of have these flashbacks throughout his day of just like when things were good. Well, unfortunately, like he still has a job in the present, and that starts to fall by the wayside. He gets arrested for breaking into Tim Riley's bar and like sitting there. And so the police are like, you can't be in here. So then he goes, I'm going home. This is a great line. He goes, I'm going home. I'm going back to 67 Bennett Avenue. Rob, do you know whose address that is?
Is it Rod Serling's?
Correct. That is Rod Serling's address.
Cool.
Pretty slick.
Pretty cool.
And as we may have talked about on the podcast, that's also where my friend lives now. And so immediately I'm just like, you going over to my friend's house right now? You tell him? I don't think you can show up like that. You better text him.
Yeah.
You better text him.
Text at least.
Tim, before you get over there, dude, you might want to drop a line. Don't just show up at his house unannounced. So, then like
the man's in crisis, okay? Like just
then he can then pull up. Explain it to my friend when you get there, sure. And see how he feels about that. So then the show ends with you know, there being like it kind of takes like a twist where like he goes back to his old job and they like give him his job back, and he's just like, you're promoted. And it's like, wait, what? I thought he got fired.
Jim, I needed to do some more breaking and entering, I guess.
I mean,
there's the rakes of life here.
Yeah. That'll work out. I think that'll be fine. Then we then move into the next kind of leg of Rod's TV journey, which was the Twilight Zone, right? Sure. Which is what he's famously known for. I want to say he won 5 Emmys for that show.
Only?
Yeah, just those 5. And this, so there's 2 episodes. There's In Praise of Pip and Death's Head Revisited, which both wild episodes. The first one is wild in like a kind of just like gut punch sort of deal. I mean, they're both gut punches, but In Praise of Pip is this soldier who comes home and he's now like a muscle for a loan shark. He finds out that his son is dying. And he's like, shit, I got to get home to my son. He lets somebody go on a debt. And then he runs into a amusement park. And he sees his son as a little kid, right? His son is much older. And so he like realizes that he never really spent a lot of time with his son as a kid. So this is his time to like spend with his son. So they like run around the amusement park. They like shoot guns. They play games. They do all this stuff. And then
in this part of the episode, does the young son know it's him? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So like he's like, Dad, let's go play whatever. So they go play. They have fun, and then all of a sudden the kid stops. And he looks at Dad and he goes, I have to go. The time is up. We only had an hour. And he runs into like a House of Mirrors, or like, like the mirror place or whatever, and disappears. And it's kind of like that's where it ends, because like his dream sequence is over and the dad wakes up and he's just like, but I miss my son, I miss my kid. Like it's a gut punch. Now we round out this night with Death's Head Revisited. And this episode is a Nazi general, I think it was a general or like a lieutenant, a high up, returns to the concentration camp that he used to run. And he's outside of the camp and he like visits some bakery and he meets this Jewish woman and she like recognizes him and he's like, oh, you remember me? Like he's a real piece of shit. Yeah. Right. And she's like, you're whatever, you're you. And she gets terrified of him. So we really set the table of who the fuck this guy is. Not that we didn't know before, but now we know. Well, he goes into the camp. He walks in and it's, obviously it's abandoned. It's emptied out or whatever. And then all of a sudden the front door locks to the camp. Like the gate locks. And now he is trapped in the concentration camp. And then this guy walks up, this guide comes up, and he's like, oh, you came back. You're here. And he's like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, you killed all of us. And then it shows all of the concentration camp survivors.
Wow.
Or not survivors, the people who died. And so he goes into there and he says, like, if you're quiet, you can hear our screams. You can hear. And like the guy is like reliving all of the pain that he caused. And it's absolutely like, you want to talk like fucking just next level horror. It is here. And also like the comeuppance that this guy so rightfully deserved. Yeah. And then the show, so then I think after the episode ends, like the guy has like a mental breakdown and they find him and he's like fucking nuts because, well, the ghost of the people he murdered came back to haunt him.
I mean, all of those, any Twilight Zone episode that deals with war, in any facet, they're all so impactful. Like they he knew what he was doing.
Absolutely. And like, there, like we'll get into the second day, because this was our first. This was our first night, right? So it was just watching. Watching stuff he created. That's kind of an awesome way to start a festival. I like that. It really eases you into it. Yeah, exactly. And then like they had like a kind of a back room where they had like some artwork. Art inspired by the Twilight Zone, and I mean it's really some great stuff. Cool. There's actually a what I want to say, a painting of 67 Bennett Avenue, which was fucking dope, so dope to see.
I think on what I watched again, I watched some YouTube videos that covered the event. There was one person who like, I don't know, just like had a bunch of different clips. I think I saw that painting.
Yeah,
it was pretty nice. I didn't know what I was looking at the time, but I definitely saw that painting in one of the videos. Totally. I also, I tried to see if I could see any bit of you in any of the clips. Nothing. No luck.
So there is a clip of so I did an interview with them. The Ithaca,
I was watching the wrong videos then.
So the kids from Ithaca College showed up. And they were doing some like, kind of like TV coverage. It's like college intern shit or whatever.
Sure.
And yeah, I overheard them. They go, "Do you want to get one more for safety?"
Oh yeah, there you go. And the answer is always Yes.
Yeah, you definitely want to do that. And so then I kind of just like hung around there waiting for them to be like, hey, would you be interested in an interview?
Yep.
And I was like, absolutely. And they gave me like, they gave me the questions in advance.
Wow.
I did pretty good. I ain't gonna lie.
We'll link to the interview in the description. Don't worry.
Yeah. You can judge for yourself, Spiedie Freaks and Rattlesnake Beats, what you think about how I did. So that was the first night of, and I should also point it out, and totally forgot to, in the Twilight Zone episodes, they had all the original commercials.
Yeah.
For
awesome.
Like just cigarettes and like toothpaste and just like all like, and again, just the total like misinformation of like the 60s of just like,
sure,
these cigarettes are the healthiest cigarettes on the market. And it's like, I don't know if that exists, my friends. So after that, went over to Peterson's, had a couple drinks, and then I went back to my hotel and prepared for day 2 of Rod SerlingFest. Now, this day was pretty much dedicated to more of like panel discussions. I mean, they threw in an episode of The Twilight Zone, No Christmas Left Behind, which we'll get to.
I think I remember that one. I think I know which one that is.
Yep. So the first speaker, Tony Albarella, I believe, he came up and, we saw a lot of clips of, just Rod's insights into the writing process, politics, race. There's some really great quotes from him. And again, Rod being so ahead of his time of being like, so yeah, like, if you ask, he's like, they always ask like these soldiers, or they ask people about like, what do they think of black people? And, they always ask a soldier like, what did you think about your fellow black soldier? And they were like, yeah, it was great. Like he defended me. And Rod's like, well, yeah, of course that's what he's going to say. Like, why wouldn't he say that? Why don't you go ask a neighbor what they think of, why don't you go to someone and ask what they think of their black neighbor? Right? What, like the people that they have to that aren't relying on them to save their life. Yeah. Like he really like was digging into how just like surface level that bullshit is that they were kicking. And it was great. I was so much into it. And like, I was very much, again, I'm always excited to hear Rod talk about that. And also like
given the composition of the crowd being mostly white people, they're all people who have shown up to a Rod Serling festival. But like, what's the, I assume everyone there is also enjoying that sentiment. Right? Like what's the,
well, it was
a sense of the,
it was hard to like, I mean, I don't know if there was, people weren't like, yay, like,
sure.
hooray, you're right. I think most people were pretty wrapped in intent of watching what Rod had to say. So I think it's tough. It'd be a tough gauge of that. But I can also say that, Rod had, like, they talked about some really great insights into writing and television. And, Rod said, it really boils down to the story you're telling and what you want to say. Like all the other conventions of writing, how to write a script. He's like, you can learn that in like a week. right? Like how to format a television script. What's most important is the story that you're telling. And I was like, that's fucking great. And I appreciate that. Now, after that, I'm outside. I'm standing outside of the forum, and I was really excited to see the next speaker, the Twilight Rounds. Christopher Benedict was the speaker. He's written some books about Rod's relationship with boxing, because Rod was a boxer. And Requiem for a Heavyweight was one of the episodes he'd written about the boxing industry. So I was really excited to see that and see what his thoughts were. And as I'm standing outside, there's this little woman. She's not like elderly. She's probably like, I'd say mid-50s, right? Okay. And she goes, excuse me, because we're all part of the festival. She goes, would you like to go for a walk with me? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you know what?
Jim, I've seen too many Twilight Zone episodes. No.
Well, you know what? You're not going to catch me you ain't going to catch me slipping in Binghamton. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go. Yeah. This is going to make for a great story.
Sure.
And it did. And it absolutely did. Because this woman was like, she pulled out a map, and she's like, because they gave, the festival gave a map of all the Twilight Zone landmarks, and all that sort of stuff. And she was like, I really want to get to the bus station and Boscov's.
Wow. A woman after my own heart.
Yeah, she's
Hell
great.
Yeah.
And then she goes, do you think we'll be able to get to both of those and back in time to see the rest of the festival? And I said to her, so I'm going to show you both of these places, and it's going to take us 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're like right there.
I mean, first of all, you picked the right person.
I was going to say, could not have been luckier in her pick.
You lucked
Mr.
up.
Binghamton himself.
You are, Miss, I am ready to tell you so much about both of these places. Let's go. Yeah. And so, sure enough, we walk over to the Greyhound bus station, which is probably a 3-minute walk from the forum. And she's like, oh my God, we're here.
Amazing.
And I said,
amazing.
We are. And she's like, I'm such a big fan of Rod. And, I was so excited to come here, and I went to his house yesterday, and I was like, oh, I bet my friend is less than pleased that you were outside his house taking pictures of his house.
Sure.
But that's a separate conversation, miss. So then she's like, all right, can we go to Boscov's? I go, you got it. And I said, so check out what we're about to do. I said, so we're in the Metro Center parking lot. And I said, so you know what? We're going to walk diagonally through this parking lot, and we're going to be at Boscov's.
Wow,
you can see
gave
it.
Her shortcuts.
I gave her shortcuts through the streets of Binghamton. And she was like, oh my gosh, you really know this town. I go,
you know
I
your
do.
Stuff.
I said, miss, I do. I sure do. And I gave her the Boscov's was what Rod had used for the episode where the mannequins came to life.
We talked about it on our episode number 2.
That's right. That's right. And then, he's certainly worked a lot with the bus station in a myriad of episodes, and
talked about that as well.
Based in the Greyhound bus station, which, woof, that is a sight to behold. So give her the tour. I come back and I basically I get like the tail end of the Twilight rounds, which was Christopher Benedict's talk about boxing. So I missed a lot of it. I was a little bummed on that. But then we got into Rock from the Twilight Zone. Gail Flung, longtime music journalist, told all of this, like all of the references and influences that the Twilight Zone has had in rock music. There's been songs all that are titled The Twilight Zone. I can't think off the top of my head like all of the different tracks that have been out there, but for fuck's sake, if you type in Twilight Zone and rock music, you are going to see quite a bit.
Jim, I'm going to do that right now. We got Golden Earring, Manhattan Transfer, The Ventures, Rush, just to name a few. Pretty
yeah.
good.
They went all the way in with it. Now, I will say, I'm also looking at this from my SerlingFest 2024. The reason why I can remember all these names is because of my what do you want to call it, pamphlet? Which, by the way, I took like a fucking handful of them. So
hell yeah,
I got you, buddy.
I'm heading over right now.
We still got an episode to record. Don't. So in the pamphlet here, for the Rock from the Twilight Zone episode or the segment, it says earplugs optional in case it gets too wild.
That's Jim. I have a random question. Was anyone there to present on the Twilight Zone pinball machine? Because I don't know if you know this, it's a pretty fucking good pinball machine.
There wasn't, but I think next year
you're
that could
saying
be.
I'll be presenting on it at 2025. Excellent.
I was going to say I think there very well could be an opportunity for that.
There we go.
I was thinking though, I was looking at this, I was just like, why didn't you should be hiring like a comic or someone to warm up this crowd.
Sure.
Sure. And get them involved, which is what I will propose to them next year.
I was going to say, before we move on, I just got so many random shit to throw in here. But
yeah, get in here.
I think you're being a tour guide for a wayward Serling fan gave me the idea for some future content we can create. I really think we should make one of those audio self-guided tours where you're just you're walking someone through Binghamton.
Oh my God.
All the highlights. We'll sell it for $100 a download. It'll be pretty good. Pretty good. Put a pin in it. We'll revisit that.
Oh my God, that'd be incredible, man. I can get it. Yeah. And I was totally giving her like just like the underbelly of like Boscov's because I'm just like, there's really no reason why this building is still here. Like the city is paying for Boscov's to still stand here. I'm gonna be honest with you. So anywho, that was Rock from the Twilight Zone. Gail Flug did her thing. Then we had a lunch break.
Great.
For an hour 15, I went next door to Taco Garage Taco. Had a nice lunch. Taco salad and a elote corn dog.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
Elote corn dog.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
It was I didn't know I was going to like it, but then I did. So then we got into No Christmas This Year, which was, so they did like kind of like a break from the speakers into showing an episode. Yeah. Which I thought was a nice little break there. And yeah, it's pretty much the title entails. They stop Christmas and kids are very much concerned and as to how that's going to go. I don't remember that whole episode, but here's the magic of the internet. You can go watch that one yourself and tell us what you thought about it. So after that, as you and I talked a little bit about this, there was odes for episodes, 2 poets inspired by the Twilight Zone. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, Spiedie Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. This was a built-in break for me. I did not stick around for that.
Look, it's not like they had Arch Merrill there to do poetry.
If they did, that would be concerning.
Well, sure, he's been dead for a long time, but
correct.
Still pretty cool.
If they exhumed a body and then propped it up and I guess
Don't worry about the logistics of it. We got a year to figure it out for
sure.
2025.
You're right.
It'll be right after the pinball panel. It's going to be a great SerlingFest.
It's going to be chill. I can feel it.
I watched a little bit of this. These are like I've been hinting and we've mentioned a few times. I think almost all of the panels from Saturday are all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And Jim, the level of chatter and the din of the crowd in the background is as loud as the poets. It's a little bit damning. And it's 45 minutes. And I think only 6 poems.
Yeah.
They're long. It's impressive. There definitely were some people that stayed from what I can tell. It wasn't my cup of tea. But an interesting choice for something to include. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Yes. And then we moved on. I quite frankly couldn't tell you much about that. I sat outside next door to a little there's a little bakery coffee shop there that I hung out at for a little bit, and then returned for Rod in Ohio from from Mark Dadwadzak. I'm gonna guess that's how you say his last name. So Rod, Rod had a really strong relationship with Ohio. He went to college there. He went to school. He went to school there, and that is where that was where most of his like TV writing and radio writing began. Was in college. So there's also kind of like it's almost like Rod's kind of sister city. That's the link between like Binghamton and I forget the city in Ohio, but they are very excited about Rod. His college is doing like a tribute to him as well, which we'll get into the informal day 3 of the SerlingFest. As Binghamton's response to that. But it was interesting. I mean, to learn about his relationship with the Buckeye State and his radio and television work. So, they talk a little bit about the plans. Like, if any of you want to go out to Ohio, and I was like,
Let me stop you right there.
I lived there for a year and a half. I think I'm good on that. And so then we got into this is like the kind of the penultimate portion of our forum experience. A panel called High Values and Highly Valued, and Ann Serling, who is Rod's daughter, and Mark Olshacker and Mark Dadzwidzik joined Ann in discussing, Rod's social conscious and how that informed his life and it informed his work. And as we talked about at the top of this, and as Anne echoed, is that he was so much of a anti-racist and really fought a good fight against that. In fact, his first experiences with discrimination came when he wasn't allowed in a Jewish fraternity because he was dating women who weren't Jewish. And so they wouldn't allow him in, and that is what it was part of the impetus for him to fight against that through his work. And, it talked, and I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but, a lot of Rod's early work, with The Loner and even Stars Over Hollywood were obviously very socially driven, and networks weren't there for it.
Yeah.
And so that is why he said, well, what if I just put it behind sci-fi and have a Martian say it, and then just recreate or put these themes and put these stories in outer space.
Yep.
And it worked.
And it's but it's not he's, for anyone that hasn't seen The Twilight Zone, go watch all of it. But he did such a good job at it's not so abstract that the meaning is removed, right? It's
sure,
it's all still, it's done also well where it's still entertaining. It's still communicating, those messages, and it's still, it's sci-fi, but that's sci-fi at its best when it's able to deal with issues of today with futuristic and fantastical. I don't know if that's a word.
Phantasmal.
Sure, we'll take that one. Phantasmal stories, right?
He also, and this was what was so great about his work too, is how, again, and we said this, but it stood the test of time, in that there is there's been some programs through the Binghamton City School District that is focused on Rod's work. So I think they're they interviewed a elementary school teacher at MacArthur, I want to say. MacArthur School on the south side of Binghamton. And she does a unit where they watch the episode, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's a very famous one where there's a woman who's getting surgery done, and the surgery doesn't take, and then we see her, and she's beautiful. She's like a starlet. And then everybody else has these pig faces, and it throws into the question the conception of beauty.
The name, in fact, is Eye of the Beholder.
Thank you for ringing that in and reemphasizing that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so this woman does a unit on that, and they interviewed her, and I thought that was really great.
Yeah.
And also, another program they did, and they did it, I don't know if they're still doing it in the high school, but it's the Rod Serling film and arts program. And you submit different works, and you can win whatever the prize is, and I won in 10th grade.
I was gonna say, I believe we talked about that. What was the submission though? That I can't remember.
It was this fucking wild, it was called Number 9, and
okay.
It was just trippy work. Me and my man Jamie Sullivan and Christy Martino and we won it. And
a couple young Charlie Aherns.
Oh, if only. And we won a free video rental from Video King, which is great.
That's
I actually still have the certificate.
You never used it?
No, not the certificate.
I was gonna say
says that we won
Right.
the ticket to rent. I'm sure I used that, but
I was gonna say, what did you rent?
Oh, who knows? Who knows? So yeah, and Anne did a really great job of just telling stories about her dad and how, he was such a prankster and a jokester and like always made her laugh, and it was really touching stuff that she got into. They had like a pet, I forget if it was a dog or cat, and the dog and cat would run around, and one day Rod went up to her, and I'm kind of fucking up the story, but she was just like, I need to talk to you, and like or no, I'm sorry. The girl comes up to her dad, Rod, and goes, I think I think one of the dogs made a mess in the bedroom, right? Like there was like shit on the floor, and Rod walked over and just picked it up with his bare hands.
Oh no.
Why did he do that?
No.
Because it was fake, and he planted it there.
All right, never mind.
And
twist.
There's a little plot, as Rod would do, is have a plot twist, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, he and then that fake piece of shit became like a running gag around the house.
Like I said, family heirloom.
Yeah, it was on the auction. It was for sale.
Sure.
At SerlingFest. So there was that, and then we rounded out the night with an after hours tour by Scott Skelton and Jim Benson, who were the co-authors of the book on Rod Serling's Night Gallery. Mm-hmm. And these were the guys who fucking knew this show. And they gave a full breakdown of everything Night Gallery, and like the beef that like Rod had with, I think, one of the producers of the show, and how like the producer was like jealous of Rod and wanted the same spotlight that Rod had on the show. And so much so that if you watch like if you watch these episodes, Rod's name, it's like in big letters, created by Rod Serling, and then produced by whatever the producer's name's in an equally big letters.
Sure.
So nothing getting past any of it. And they did a great job of talking about the show. I definitely was a little bit exhausted because, again, we're coming up on 6:30. It is 10. I've been there since 10 a.m. It's now 6:30.
A full work day.
Yeah, we put in a lot of time for Rod. And it was, but it was a great night. A great ending to it. And one of the things that was really great about the panel here is they talked about how influential Rod was today. Like, and how if you talk to like Ed Burns and God, I forget the other guy from The Wire, how they were like, yes, Rod was a major influence. The guys from Breaking Bad, David Chase, all these like classic television shows that we know, and they're the directors and writers credit their inspirations back to Rod. And it was really fucking dope to hear that. You know what I mean? Like obviously we know how great his work was, but like to hear it still echo and ring bells today, with some of our favorite directors and writers are like, yeah, Rod was that guy. Yeah.
If like it's the most watchable TV, or some of the most watchable TV from the late 50s and 60s, like not much of it holds up, like, it's also good.
It's really good. And, as we discussed how it still holds up and how it's still timeless and always will be. So that was the Saturday portion of SerlingFest. Afterwards, I went back to Peterson's and got drunk again. It's the only bar I can go to in Binghamton these days. So shout out to everybody over there. And then before I forget, rewinding the tape back to our lunch break. For the lunch break, I went to where the statue is going to be unveiled.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I got some pictures of it completely covered. Because it was
just out there covered for a full day beforehand.
I mean, if you go to, because I have pictures of it on my Instagrams, but it's in Rec Park on the top of the hill. It's they dug 6 feet into the ground to put the brackets to hold it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was there chilling. Cool. So I went up there. I wanted to get a picture of it covered and then get a picture of it uncovered, which I got a few of those. So the next day, that Sunday, was the unveiling of the statue. And it was pretty fucking cool. It was there was a pretty decent sized gathering. If I had to guess, there's probably 100 people, maybe 125, all gathered around. And, they did the little unveiling carpet. Ann Serling spoke. The mayor was there. Senator was there. And it was
state or
local. Leah Webb. So
okay.
What is Leah Webb? She is a New York State senator.
All right. Chuck Schumer didn't make the trip out.
No, Chaz did not show up. She went to BCC and then Binghamton University.
All
Good
right.
for her. New York State senator. She's great. She pulled up. It was great. They unveiled a statue. And it's a statue of Rod. He's overlooking Rec Park, which is where he would spend a lot of his time as a young man. There are episodes of The Twilight Zone that are based on some facets of the park. The carousel, for example, has made some cameos in
and
his
the
work.
bandstand.
Yep. So it's some powerful stuff. There's the caption on the front of the statue says, "Everybody has a hometown. Binghamton's mine." Rod
and
Serling.
The episode there.
Yeah, and scene. And it's kind of cool because he's standing in front of a door, but the door is kind of off kilter.
Yeah.
It's
it's a great statue.
It's really they really did a great job. They went to statues.com, which I didn't know was a thing. And they spent a sizable amount of time working on this.
What do you think that domain cost? They really got lucky. Statues.com, that's where you're gonna go for statues.
That's if you want a statue, that's the place to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Do you think statuette.com is available? Let's see.
I mean, it's worth a look. We could find out. But yeah, all in all, and then that was the kind of the end of the day. Everybody from the festival was there. And definitely a very, very proud moment as a West Sider of Binghamton to see a guy who did not grow up very far from me. He is roughly a 20-minute walk from where I grew up, to have this indelible impact and to see a statue in his honor. There's going to be some additional development to said statue. First of all, they are installing cameras around all of it so that it will not be vandalized. And if it does, you'll probably get the book thrown at you. But they're also building a walkway up to the statue, which will be cool. And there's going to be benches around it for people to sit and hang and reflect on his work. And yeah, it was very, very dope. Strongly suggest y'all pull up for 2025.
Get those tickets now. They're going to go fast because of my pinball retrospective.
Yes.
We're raising a man who's been dead for at least probably 50 years to recite poetry. Guys, get your tickets.
Get it
now.
Pull up sooner than go wait there for it now. I almost forgot. At the end of Saturday night's festivities, they said the Beer Tree, which is across the street from the hotel I was staying in, had a special canned beer. Time enough to last. A New England style IPA.
Nice.
And on the back there, you've got some Rod Serling action.
I dare say that's the logo that the Rod Serling... Oh, what's the name of the group? I had them bookmarked for so long. One of the Rod Serling organizations. That looks like their logo.
Well, it is the Memorial Foundation logo.
There we go.
That is involved there. So I went to grab myself one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And how about that? And yeah, I highly recommend folks, you pull up, as we said, we're going to be out there. I'm just going to move back to Binghamton. I think that's the next step.
Look, you got to go to Spiedie Fest first.
Oh,
we'll
my
do
God.
Spiedie Fest and SerlingFest next summer.
Listen, don't threaten me with a good time, man.
And the Crooked
Mouth Comedy Festival?
Yeah.
Oh, better.
We're doing all the Binghamton festivals next year.
We doing a whole lot of Binghamtonian shit. That is for fucking sure. And recommend staying at the Holiday Inn. Even though totally forgot about this. So I was getting ready. I think it was Friday night. I was going out. And I went to use the ironing board. The ironing board was broken. I called downstairs and I was like, hey, I need an ironing board. And, look, when you call downstairs for shit, don't wait around.
Sure.
I strongly encourage you just continue to go about your day. And so then I did. And they brought me another iron, left it outside my room. That one also didn't work. So I called downstairs. I'm like, so you just brought me a broken ironing board. I don't know what this is about. And so then they were like, oh, all right, well, we'll bring you one that works. I was like, great. And so then they did. I finally got one that worked.
Third time's a charm.
Yep. And then that night, I came back from gallivanting around Binghamton. By that, I mean I just walked up the street to Peterson's, walked right across the bridge, and I came back, and both ironing boards were just in the elevator. There's a picture of it on my Instagram. I took a picture of both the ironing boards just chilling. Somebody said, why are there two ironing boards in this elevator? And I said, well, that's my fault. And they're like, wait, what? I go, I can't explain it. I'm drunk. And then I went back to my hotel room, and then I went to sleep.
You gave that person their own little miniature Twilight Zone episode.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They didn't quite know what to do with all that. And that was that. And that, folks, that is what I have for y'all about the Twilight Zone. or the SerlingFest
to Adam
2024.
Rodkey, I hope you got your dollar's worth.
Oh yeah!
Shout
Holy
out to
shit.
Adam Rodkey for helping make this happen.
Adam made this possible. Shout out to our number one Spiedie freak in Rattlesnake P, Adam Rodkey, for Venmoing me $25 to buy the tickets for SerlingFest.
Hell yeah!
And quite frankly, you're gonna get. I hope you get every penny for it. I hope this is a solid investment.
Hey, look, if you want to be in contention for number one Spiedie freak and Rattlesnake Pete, you got to start somewhere, and that's with subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show. Again, throw in to your 5-star review a positive rating, write some nice words, and also suggest a future thing for us to cover on an upcoming episode. We need to give some recommendations to our Spiedie freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's for some things they can listen to over the next week while they wait for next week's episode.
Oh,
What do you
man.
got?
Well, listen, folks, let's just say you took a journey through sound and time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what a fucking journey I went on. And your next stop is not the Twilight Zone, but it's Upstate Understandings, which is my comedy album. It is available on all digital streaming platforms, but let's just say that you wanted a physical copy of that album.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my friends, you can do that. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a place to go for that. And you should definitely get into it. It's very dope. It's a wonderfully produced album by none other than Rob Adler. Art by Adam Russell and all of that. So for the love of Pete, pull on up and get a copy. JimSearchComedy.com is a place to find my show dates and shit like that. I got a couple shows coming up. I didn't realize that. That's pretty rad. I'm going to be at the Bushwick Comedy Club on October 19th. So pull up for that. I'll be at Nice One Comedy out in Queens. Pull up for that too. If you go to my website, you can see the address and dates for all of those. So yeah, come on out and enjoy yourself some comedy. Rob, they've seen me do stand up. They have purchased all of the t-shirts that I have for Upstate Understandings, and they bought the remaining vinyl, but yet they still have discretionary income to spend. Where should they spend it? How should they spend it? And how much should they spend?
Look, first things first, you're going to buy a ticket to SerlingFest 2025. And as you're biding your time, waiting to hear from zombie poet laureate of upstate New York, Arch Merrill, recite some Twilight Zone inspired poetry, you're going to pick up my album to listen to for the entire next year. You can find it at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. It's called New York Sticky. It's an instrumental album filled with I was going to try and say exactly how many tracks. It's like at least 15. It's like a solid hour. It's pretty good of funk, boogie, go-go inspired tracks. So go check that out. Also go check out our documentary, which is a behind-the-scenes look at the making of Jim's album. There's a link for all of these things in the description. What you're not going to find in the description is next week's topic. For that, we got to go to Jim for a hint as to what we'll be talking about next week. Jim.
Oh, man. Well, listen, don't stay up too late, and make sure you leave a nightlight on for that.
And then we can be a little bit more explicit about this. All for the entire month of October, doing some spooky themed episodes. This one being SerlingFest. Again, he dealt with some spooky things, so we're kind of kicking things off with this.
Yo, imagine getting on an elevator and finding 2 ironing boards for no fucking reason. That is terrifying. What does that mean? What are the secrets?
Shaking in my boots. Well, Jim, it's no secret that I am terrible at closing the episodes. I usually write a bad pun that involves the word up. Are you ready for that part of the episode?
Hell yeah.
Well, I need to write up a couple of stanzas, so I'm ready for SerlingFest 2025 Poetry Slam. Let's get out of here.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.